What's up, everybody? Jeffrey Lyles. You are listening to Lyles Movie Files. We're here on month 2 of quarantining, social distancing here in Maryland. I know some other states are outlaws and just doing whatever the heck they want to do because who cares about coronavirus? But Governor Hogan is making sure we're staying inside and not getting into trouble and spreading this virus around any further. We're going to talk today about what the heck we've been doing and what we're going to be doing for the next month because apparently we're going to be inside for a lot longer. Joining me on today's show, one and only little brother, Jayce. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm social distanced.
Yes, it's very responsible that you are doing that. Good job. My haircut is in desperate need. I am putting myself on the haircut tour. It's embarrassing to look at myself in the mirror right now because it's like, oh, what is going on with you? How's your situation?
I think it's about the top. I know I can no longer get a high top fade, but it's about the max of that.
I kind of feel like I am getting very close to that point where I want to see if I can go back to the early 90s and see how high I can get this thing going because that is the only redeemable hairstyle of which I can come up with this thing at this correct moment.
You want to try and go with dreads? Act like you're a young Jay Z?
No. I looking like an old Jay Z trying to be young Jay Z. I can't do it, and I won't do it. Yes, and my hair is rocking a Reed Richards if he did not get a haircut look, and I am not happy with it.
What can you do, bro? Man,
I, yeah, it was bad. I was in the mirror with some clippers, scissors, not clippers. It's like some very small scissors clipping some of the sides because it's now gone past the point of just bunching up. Now it's starting to curl, and it's like, no, stop this. This is too far. You've gone past the point now. I
it's
won't
now
allow it.
ridiculous, huh?
Yeah, it's very ridiculous, and I'm just not a fan. So there's nothing right now coming new. We've tapped out the movies. We've gone to the point now where there are no new movies that are coming to on demand because everything that was in theaters is now on demand, and everything that was slated is pushed back. So we got, I guess, the biggest news movie wise for the week was the big pushback of everything at Marvel Studios. So everything that was slated has basically been delayed to the next movie's time slot. Black Widow was originally slated, as we know, to come out next month. Now it's coming out in November when we hope, knock on wood, that everything will be wrapped up and done. There's no guarantee that it will be done, so I guess we're just kind of hoping for the best that, yeah, by November it'll be straight. So then that set off this huge train reaction of everything getting pushed back further. So Eternals, which was going to come out November 6th, now is coming out on February 12th, 2021. Shang-Chi on the Ten Rings moves to May 7th, 2021. Doctor Strange goes to November 5th, 2021. And Thor, Love and Thunder is now going to February 18th, 2022. Man, will Chris Hemsworth still be in shape by that point, bro?
I was just saying, man, I was stealing some of his workouts, his, just straight dumbbell workouts, while I'm stuck in the house. So I'm sure he could do it. I mean, his wife just gets him a nice, good diet. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Okay, yeah. I'm not. I am. I don't. I'm not fat Thor right now. I'm not. 6 months after Infinity War, and we just found out there is no getting everybody back Thor. But yeah, it's not looking good. Fortunately, I'm not getting beer delivered to the front door yet. Black Panther 2 and Captain Marvel 2 are coming out May 8th and July 8th, 2022. But the big question is how does this affect the arrival of the X-Men and Fantastic Four?
Uh, Again, if they haven't casted, it's perfect because you don't have. I mean, unless you really want to have somebody locked in, you still have an extra year basically to choose who you want for this X Men cast. So I don't think it's actually horrible for them. right now. If you have a director, I mean, the good thing is like everybody's in the same boat. It's like unless you have like some horrible project and you know this is the easiest way possible to get out of it. Like say if you were directing like Fox X-Men and then you had a scheduling conflict, you'd be like, oh man, I really wanted to get back on that X-Men project, but I got this thing over here and I can't, I don't want to break my contract. Sorry guys.
Yeah, Jennifer. I could see Jennifer Lawrence being like, "I'm not going to be able to come back, guys. Sorry,
Not gonna be able to do it.
I'm not even going to let you put blue paint in my hair."
I think she would have that actually. When they actually called, she's like, "Can you guys cue that up from the internet? Just play it to them." I'm not even talking to them.
Can't do it. Won't do it, and absolutely will not. So that means that we're probably not going to get the Falcon and the Winter Soldier come. I think that was set for August, and then the Mandalorian season 2 is going to be in October, and then WandaVision was going to be in November. I'm just like, everything's getting messed up, and I'm not. I'm just like, come on now. I'm ready for entertainment again. And this is when they go. Of course, this is why we're worth $20 million per film and 1 million per episode on these things, because we bring to you people entertainment.
Hard to knock it. Like, oh, it's always the folks like, oh, see, you find out you don't need sports. Ask the people who like sports what they need. They're dying for it. They're
Let me tell
gagging for it.
you one bit of foolishness I did yesterday, or maybe it was Friday, because I was so desperate and hard up for sports. So I started off my day, and this was yesterday now that I think about it. I was watching I had an old DVD, so I'm watching a poor TV copy transfer of Niners versus Giants in the NFC wildcard game where we're really far behind, and then we just keep coming back. And it's funny how I can hate a player way back when and have a begrudging respect for them now. Not the case with Jeremy Shockey. Shockey. That guy just annoyed me all over again in a fresh new way when I rewatched that game.
Was Madden commentating?
No, this was Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Chris Collinsworth. I didn't even realize all three of them. I had totally forgotten all three of them were in a booth at one point. It's crazy. And very early on in the broadcast, Troy managed to throw in yeah, we beat the Bills to win the Super Bowl. And I just was like, shut up, Troy. It took me back to a happy place when I can
Man,
say that all the time.
try to have to like what was a beer commercial where he says, "I like living in the past." It's like he was not lying. It's like I will show you a cowboy reference to when we actually could win a playoff game, no matter what.
He's quite ridiculous. Also, quite ridiculous was, for whatever reason, wink, wink. I still had the commercials with the Miller Lite girls. It tastes great, less filling.
Wink, wink.
Gosh, that I was watching that commercial with 2020 woke eyes and was like, oh, they'd never be able to make that commercial now. But then they actually ended with the two guys at the bar laughing and like, who wouldn't love that commercial? And their two, I assume, girlfriends or two female friends looking so disgusted. And I was like, maybe that would pass the 2020 smell test.
No, that would be these are now who actually decides on these commercials test.
That's a magnificent commercial. If you have no idea what we're talking about, you should YouTube it because it's still sensational even now.
Yeah.
Absolutely sexist, but yeah, that was a football commercial back in the good old days. Kids.
Well, that was before they had record ratings and all. Didn't
Yeah.
understand the joys of inclusive football, which
Right.
makes no sense.
Right.
Oh wait, you can't actually tackle anybody too.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Huh.
Very good point. But that was not my ridiculous sports related thing that I did. So I don't know if you paid any attention, but Bleacher Report has been doing this simulation of all-time great teams. So they've taken all the best players on every squad, and they're doing a simulation on Madden 2K20, whatever this current one is. Um, new numbers, same old game. That one.
No, different controls. Same game.
Needless control changes. Same game.
Like
So
two buttons what used to be one button. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, why not? So they have the Niners, and of course, it's the only reason I'm actually tuned in. The all-time Niners versus the all-time Rams. So the from based off what I could piece together, starting lineup was Joe, quarterback, Jerry, Dwight Clark, which I thought was odd, kind of nostalgia thing for the wide receivers, or maybe he was. I feel like he wasn't starting, but they had T.O. and they started working T.O. in because after watching that Giants game, T.O. and Jerry are the starting receivers for me, and then John Taylor
Yeah.
and Clark. Because gosh, T.O. was man. If I never saw Jerry Rice play, I would think that T.O. was the greatest receiver. That dude was different. Like he was just breaking tackles like it was nothing. Crazy and fast, deceptively fast. So anyway, I tune in and the game is 14-7 going into the fourth quarter.
Who's the
And
Rams team?
Rams team, it has Warner's the quarterback. I guess Falk as the running back.
Yeah.
A lot of their greatest show on turf is basically the greatest show on turf offense and Merlin Olsen and like the fearsome foursome defense and some other random guys. And I'm like, this is preposterous. First of all, if they was go 14 points on any defense and they had Charles Haley and Nick Bosa. I'm like, what? Come on now. Roddy
How
Light on defense. Like, how are they scoring 14 points?
again? Even if today's rules apply, I'm still thinking Ronnie Lott sets the tone early about them boys,
Oh
and it's
gosh.
no more running in the middle.
Especially with those soft batch Rams receivers who did that without playing against Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, it's like, and they
They
were fast,
they yeah,
but
they
Ronnie
went
was
down
also
like
fast.
yeah, they went down like they were hit by a feather if they had
Oh,
contact coming. Don't
oh
touch
yeah.
me.
Hey,
Punks.
they had a long career. See, they set the tone for today's NFL game.
Yeah. Soft losers. Anyhow,
Some
so
sucker.
I'm watching the game and I'm like, why are they even up? And I was very confused. So I'm watching the game and the and it's at the point now where the Niners have and they're infuriating because they're not doing anything on offense. They have to punt and then they stop the Rams and then they get the ball back with like let's say 2 minutes. No, it was over 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. And they're doing this dink and dunk stuff. I'm like, okay. But after every play, they're going in the huddle. And it's like, what are you guys doing? There's no sense of urgency. And they've got like they get sacked, Montana gets sacked, and then it's like, wait, what are you doing? And so they get to the 30, the Rams 30, and Montana completes another pass. It's like in the middle of the field. But no one moves up the field to spike the ball. I'm like, what the heck? The game runs out because there's no hurry up. I'm like, this sim is the worst sim of football ever. And I have immediately disqualified every result I have since seen of this BR simulating that all time team.
Again, Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens on one side.
Mm-hmm. George Kittle's a
Monte,
tight end. Davis is a backup tight end.
and let's say Roger Craig or Ricky Waters is a running back.
No, Roger Craig, Frank Gore are the running backs.
I'm sorry. Did these idiots not know this is actually the precursor
There's
to the greatest show on turf?
literally no way that team would have lost to any squad. I fully expected that team to be in the Super Bowl or championship of this thing. And they lose in the first round because of no clock management.
No,
Like,
they
stupid.
lose if you have. Unless you had what's that dude?
Blaine Gabbert as quarterback.
No, I'm trying. If you had Jeff Fisher as the offensive coordinator for this team, maybe they lose. any competent team, if you had Mike McCarthy as the coach, it's a blowout.
Yeah, I was very annoyed with it, and I was like, all right, well, clearly I'm not going to pay any more attention to this because they are smoking everything to come up with this result.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't feel like if actual people played that, that would happen at all.
come on.
That
I
Sim was playing
again,
with half a brain.
let me say this. I am a Broncos fan. I know my best Bronco team, which is pretty much the two teams that won back-to-back Super Bowl with a couple extra players fit in there here and there. I'm still not seeing that Niners team. I
As well,
mean,
you should not.
just straight up honest. It's like cornerbacks. That's you're on a whole different level against those two dudes. I mean, Steve Atwater's a big dude, can make some good hits, but he's not stopping Terrell. I mean, like Terrell wasn't a soft batch. He would go in the middle. Jerry is
Terrell,
going
your boy
Terrell.
was Terrell.
Yeah, like Jerry is a problem. Oh, and then go with three wide set and John Taylor's in. No, I don't. No, I'm good. I expect my fantasy matchups for me to have a chance in. Like, nah, champ, I'm not doing
Yeah, I was like, okay, clearly I won't watch any more of this because this is stupid.
it.
The simulation is garbage, and I'm having no more of this. So yeah, I was like, oh, I see them posting more of these results, and I'm like, this doesn't even count. Clearly, it does not
Obi-Wan
matter.
should literally just be waving his hand. Just doesn't.
This does not count. So, but I am playing a video game that's not new to most people, but it is, like NBC would say, new to me. I'm playing Detroit. And Detroit is this very fascinating, I guess, sort of not a simulation, but it's you're controlling three androids and you're dealing with rising anti android sentiment among the population of Detroit. And you play one of three robots, or you play as three robots throughout the various chapters of the game. And the graphics on this game are amazing. It's one of my favorite kind of games where your choices dictate what happens, and they show you all of these branching paths based on how you interact, what you say, what you do. And I told you last time we talked that it was like the Until Dead Games, Submersive Games, I believe is their production company. But you actually can go back and make the change and see what would happen if you did something different, which was great because I wanted to see how one thing would change because I was not happy with one choice earlier. And it's like they have like a narrator type character who goes, "Hey, we advise you to play through the game one time with your decisions." But I'm like, this decision ended a chapter and got one of my characters killed. So I'm not going to listen to you now. So that's what happened. And what game are you playing now?
Well, I love. Well, hey, I made the dumb decision last week, and I downloaded the Final Fantasy VII remake demo, and I kind of devoured it in like 20 minutes after it was like 1 o'clock when I tried to play it, and then couldn't beat the demo part, which impressed the heck out of me. Then when I actually beat it, I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna have any time to play this game. Except now I'm quarantined, and the game comes out on Friday.
Oh, it
So
does?
yes, yes it does.
Oh,
Needless to say, Friday, my as soon as I have to stop work, once I'm done working, Final Fantasy VII remake will be in, and the phones will somehow mysteriously be off. I don't know what's gonna happen. But until then, I am actually playing. What is it? Yes, also like you, it's not new, but I finally started playing Spider-Man on the PS4,
nice.
and I kind of see how people say I could literally sit around like zoom around on his web, like flying around New York City the whole like for hours. I'm like, I can see doing that. It's pretty
Yeah.
dang cool. It's like, oh yeah, there's a random mugging. I'll go down and stop that. But yeah, let's enjoy this New York cityscape for a while. So
Yeah, they do all kinds of stuff to really get your attention. It's like, well, yeah. I could do that.
Some games you feel like you're playing a side quest, and you're like, I don't have time for this mess. I'm thinking this one you could easily get down a rabbit hole. Like, oh yeah, that main quest. Yeah, got it. Sorry, my bad.
That's kind of what happened with me. And then I think the only thing that kind of kept me pushing forward was the fact that they had some DLC, three other stages that I could play. And I finished like the entire game and then played those chapters. They were very involved in terms of DLC, and I think I paid maybe 12 or $15 for them, so it was to me well worth paying that extra, $5 per chapter. And I was like, oh, this is cool. But yeah, it's a game that I was like, man, this is fun. I think that was one of the reasons why when I saw the Avengers video game trailer, I was like, this doesn't look like it's gonna be as good as Spider-Man.
Mhm.
And I'm still not sold on that game, but it doesn't matter because it's not available and won't be for a while anyway.
I'm wondering how many other video games and stuff like that are going to be delayed. Because I mean, video games they think most of the people work from home, but it's like or do everything's computer based. But I'm like, I mean, I'm just happy I get Final Fantasy. And it's like okay, y'all got. I mean, I got like at least like 60 hours blocked off for one disc because it's a two-part. I'm gonna be like, hello, I would like to waste my life trying to level up Knights of the Round, please. Hello. It's like, yeah, but I'm gonna. Oh, they might not even have that in this game. It would be even more awesome. Did you
I
ever
got
deal with that?
what?
Knights of the Round.
No. I thought you
Okay.
said Knights of Ren.
No. What? Knights of the Ren? What movie was that? A video game? I'm not sure I'm familiar with the term. Uh, Yeah, but Knights of the Round, you had to do like ridiculous side quests to get the thing, and then to max it out was even more of a only a I don't know only a teenager who decided they weren't doing anything for like a month could actually level the thing up
I feel
without
like
like
that's true.
the Game Shark because I literally had the Game Shark and it still took like 3 hours,
Games.
and you got like a buttload of like experience points for just doing the most basic fight, and it still took like 3 hours to max that thing out. It's like okay. Like
Yeah.
it is still uh the thing of nightmares for me and Will. We're like, yeah, I can't do that again. I'm like, no, we can't. Now without a Game Shark, we can't do it. It's just not gonna happen. So,
But I'd really like to.
hey man, if you want to farm it out to some kid, pay them like sub minimum wage numbers,
Hey, it's the
good
American
luck.
way.
Like, good luck. I'm not gonna say where you farm it out to, but I think that kid will still make money. So,
He'll stream it on his Twitch channel. He'll be fine.
man,
Everybody wins.
like his patrons get it. He's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, in addition to playing copious amounts of video games, I also finished up my March Bashness 2020 tournament. A lot of fun. Thanks everybody who voted and took part in the fun. It was crazy because you and I, despite being home, I had to keep moving quickly to get them posted to get people to vote. So we weren't able to actually record any more of our build up for it. But hopefully next year, if I plan it out better, we'll actually be able to do that.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed that. And then it's like, hey, man, when we gonna do the next round?
I
Ah,
know.
man, the votes came up. Oh, okay.
Well, it was like I was shooting at random points. So it was like, okay, I've just shot 20 matches. Let's post and edit these photos. And yeah, and doing a podcast afterwards, it's just going to be like, ah. And it just seemed like it was a quick turnaround as soon as I posted them from when people started voting.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but in addition to that, I have been watching movies. Some of them have been good. Some of them have been not so good. One on the good side was VFW. It's this movie about a Veterans of Foreign Wars um, bar run by Stephen Lang. He's got Fred Williamson, William Sadler, some of his buddies, and they're dealing with a bunch of drug heads that are basically walking zombies trying to kill this girl who's stolen some of their drugs. So these old guys decide to go expendables on them and shoot and kill everybody that comes their way. And
And
it
they're
is
like zombies
bloody
too.
bloody. Um, it's kind of like Assault on Precinct 13 mixed in with a little bit of Expendables and more violence. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's probably meaning it doesn't have a PG-13 rating.
you're correct. No PG-13 to be found.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's a perfect quarantine movie where it's like, yeah, I could watch old guys beat up people for a while, no problem. Yeah, and then they weren't going ridiculous like, oh, they're going to be the road warriors because they're old veterans. No, they were getting pushed around and treated exactly how you expect 20-year-olds to treat older guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they just use their guile and experience and spike bats to get the job done.
And the fact they've actually been in a fight once in their life.
Yeah, exactly. In real fights.
Huh. Okay. That sounds like a plan.
It was. And without any TV shows outside of Walking Dead to review, which is we're going to get to its last episode this week or today, and I have more time to watch movies, and I decided I was going to resume. I had waited, I'd taken a few months off that I could do, and it's perfect time now to do a marathon of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so I wanted to go into this with you, talking about Phase One. And I
Okay.
finished watching Captain America: The First Avenger last night. But there were a few things that really stood out to me, and I just want to go over with you. First, I don't understand how this deal works, but why in the world would Paramount Pictures sell off their Marvel properties to Disney?
Quick cash. I mean,
Gosh.
because you think about it, Marvel. If you Paramount, you're like, yeah, I don't know how these Marvel movies are gonna go. But I really think Star Trek is the way to go.
I was thinking, I was like, so that leaves it with Star Trek and Transformers. Hmm. Oh,
Good call.
yeah. Like, in what world was that a good deal?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, boy, you guys really like you cost yourselves 5, 6, 7 billion off of Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel combined.
But the truth is, you needed somebody to have a vision for the whole thing. I mean,
But Kevin Feige was involved right from the start. I'm sure Disney paid a buttload of money to make it worth it, but I'm thinking I just held on to it and have all that money for ourselves. Then it went down a further rabbit hole and was just thinking if Disney never purchased them, how much different things would have been. Like, um, would it have changed how some characters were presented? Would it have made meant that some characters just never got in there, or
Spider-Man
what?
doesn't come in. I don't
Guess
think they could have negotiated. Paramount would have had the juice to get Fox to let them go.
Sony for him.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sony. I don't think they would have had the juice of Sony, and I definitely Marvel. No matter when it comes out, that would just not be a thing.
Yeah, and then I wonder we probably would not have had many of the TV shows. Um, at least Agents of Shield, probably not on ABC. Probably.
No,
Um,
aren't they Paramount? I mean, I guess
they're
they're Disney, but
Disney, so yeah.
yeah.
I don't
So
know. It was just a weird rabbit hole that I went down and thinking, like, man, what if Paramount held on to this thing and just said, yeah, Disney, we're not selling because we're going to make a $1,012,000,000 here.
Black Panther doesn't get made.
I think Black Panther still would get made because it would have been long enough in that point that they were like, sure, do whatever you want to do, Kevin. We trust you.
Uh,
Here's $200 million. Go make us $1 billion.
and well, maybe the other thing is there might have if you kept even just the Avengers. Well, okay, like is it maybe Iron Man 2 was part of Paramount?
No, right up through the first Avengers,
Uh,
Paramount had all those films.
Okay, so all right, so with that, there's maybe there's more of a chance that Black Widow gets her movie.
Yeah, I was thinking Ike
Like that might be the
Perlmutter.
one good thing in Paramount because they would have been like, well, we did build her up pretty good in Iron Man 2, and she was very useful in Avengers. So what's not to make a movie about? Because
Yeah,
it was the old. Wait, was it the old Marvel boss who didn't like?
yeah. The old
Yeah.
no, was it the Marvel boss? I think it is a Marvel guy. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. But
yeah.
that was interesting. And then I was watching and I was just thinking how when Iron Man came out, it was really well done, and it still completely holds up today. Like, I'm watching it and like, wow, that was a really well done comic book movie. It's like everything falls into place perfectly. It all makes sense, and they even start laying all these breadcrumbs for where they're gonna go. Like when he starts off his first flight and he ices up because he's going too far in the atmosphere, which then they kind of call back to with him flying up into space in Avengers to throw the rocket. It's like if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have never had the need to put that advancement in his armor. It's like, man, that's interesting how they just think so much about these little things that connect. And then what else was it that was really interesting to me? Um oh, just the whole deal with Coulson and how important Coulson is and all this, and just how much of a presence he is. Just the
Yeah.
little things like Sitwell
Yeah,
and
and that was first. I mean, and if you go for Iron Man, because was Sidwell in Iron Man? I mean,
Sitwell
no, no, he
first
wasn't Iron Man.
showed up in Thor, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah,
Yeah, but like, I mean, you think about it, it's like they got a whole second show. I mean, not alone with the movies, they got a TV show, and then the TV show got awesome because of the things that happened in the movie. And it's like, I mean, that. I mean, to me, that's somebody who had like that's a group that had a vision. Like, hey, we're not going to book this movie, each movie on the fly. Here's what you're going to keep a breadcrumb in this, and this is all going to tie in and look really cool to get.
yeah,
It
and
was.
then it's like kind of like watching that first post credit scene is like, oh my gosh, just think of where all this is going to go. And then from Iron Man to the Incredible Hulk, and every time I watch that movie, I feel like it is underrated. I feel like people don't appreciate it for whatever reason, but it's like, man, that is a great movie. Edward Norton does such a great job as frail Bruce Banner, and William Hurt's a tremendous bad guy who thinks he's not the bad guy. Blonsky levels up throughout the movie to get on Hulk's level, which makes that last fight scene meaningful. And
Wait, so you mean the person has some adversity and it makes it meaningful? Hmm,
yeah,
interesting.
weird concept, I know.
Interesting.
I think maybe the only thing that was kind of weak was how Betty Ross was portrayed, but that's not really any different than Pepper in the first two Iron Man films, where it's just like, okay, I'm the screamy love interest.
Well, she was. I mean, she helped him out doing his thing. Liv Tyler. Maybe. I mean, if you don't like her voice,
Yeah,
maybe. But I
yeah,
mean, I would actually like to talk to somebody that says. I mean, if you say the other movies are better, I'll be like, okay, fine. But to say that movie is bad, I'm just like, what's wrong with that movie? It's like because if you take out all the, you know, later Avengers movies and you compare it to anything else, it's like that movie probably is one of the better superhero movies if you take out the Marvel stuff, the later Marvel stuff. It's like Hulk was
yeah.
Hulk. He wasn't so I got daddy issues. It was like I'm throwing stuff, I'm beating the heck out of tanks and everybody else.
Right, right. I mean, those
But
those fights were like, oh shoot, Hulk is really cutting loose here.
mm,
And then I
but
just love the little things, like the small touches, like bringing in Lou Ferrigno to have that cameo.
yeah,
That was cool. The reference to the purple pants, the music. It's just like, gosh, this was a really well done movie, and I feel like, man, I wish they were able to keep things going with Universal where they could have made more Hulk films because I would have loved to have seen the direction they, could have gone with just Hulk on his own. and Bruce Banner is the sole character, not part of an ensemble cast.
I mean, because it's like after Avengers, if you think about after Avengers 1, Hulk is still Hulk, and he still could be a man on the run who's not loved by everybody. So he goes back on, a Hulk like journey, to find his cure. So you always, I mean, it could have been an interesting move, or it could have been like, what else is he gonna do? I mean, Hulk's got. I mean, his bad guys are, Red Hulk, which they put the groundwork in there.
And they also laid the groundwork for the leader. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that's right.
there was definitely directions they could have gone with the sequel. And as I watched the first 5 films of Phase One, it continues to be the case where I think that Thor was the most important movie in Phase One, maybe of like the first 3 phases. It's like
Explain that, because
sure, because Iron Man was a success, and people could wrap their head around a guy wearing a suit of armor that flies. They've seen enough Batman movies where it's like, okay, I can give it that. And the TV show Hulk had already gotten people, oh yeah, he gets mad, he turns green, and gets really powerful. Thor was the biggest stretch because, all right, this guy's not from Earth. He's an Asgardian god of thunder and lightning. He has a magic hammer that allows him to fly and channel lightning and thunder. And everybody talks fancy with a sort of Shakespearean accent. And they've got all these mysterious magical creatures involved and a rainbow bridge. There's a lot of elements that we'd never seen before in a comic book movie. Like Superman was an alien, but basically raised in, Midwest USA. Thor was totally, totally different. And if Thor didn't work, especially given where they were going to position him and Loki for Avengers, it really could have messed up everything else in Phase One. Like, oh, we're building off of that lame character who was a cornball in his own solo movie, and his brother who is also corny. Yeah, those guys were laughing stocks. I think they may have had to change up some stuff based off of the reaction of audiences if they hated it. Like, say, a
Iron
Suicide
Fist.
Squad or something. Yeah, or
Okay, yeah.
Iron Fist. Like, if they just really hated it, it would have messed everything up. Iron Man and Hulk would have been fine, but Thor was the most important one. Captain
It was the
America
lead.
was fine
Okay.
on its own because it was a period piece where you just go, ah, it's all right. They didn't like that. They just don't like World War II movies. We'll put them in modern era. We'll fix any problems people have with Cap. But Thor couldn't get changed to a different time period. You couldn't get his powers in a different way. It was a take it or leave it kind of presentation of Thor.
He was the actual superhero.
Yeah, and Kenneth Branagh, I think, making it the way he did, treating it, I won't say super serious, but treating everything on Asgard serious and making Earth more of the comedic realm and lighthearted where they could kind of sort of question some stuff about Thor without going, Thor is a cheesy, corny character. Let's dissect everything that's bad about Thor. There
Okay.
was skepticism with him with characters like Eric Selvig, but they weren't flat out saying he's corny. Why is he dressed like this? Why, they he took very great care to not trash Thor with the presentation from people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because if he probably maybe if even the screenplay calls for Thor to be in costume the whole movie, it might like okay, this everybody's gonna treat him as a joke, like
Yeah.
So okay.
The one interesting thing I noticed that they figured out a storytelling presentation kind of early on where they start off with a sort of significant action sequence or something to hook you, and then they go back and tell the story of how this happened. Like with the first Iron Man, he's in the Humvee, rolling along with the rest of the squad. They get blown up. and then he's got to become Iron Man. And Hulk, he's already Hulk, and he is trying to keep control, and it kind of presented like a horror movie almost.
I think that was one of the best things about that movie.
Yes.
That they didn't do a origins like he's Hulk. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, okay, then we see everything we need to in the flashback, or not a flashback, it's just the opening credits. And in Thor, they show Thor full powered. This is what Thor can do. And then it's here's the whole concept of this movie, how he's getting back to this. And Captain America opens with, hey, this guy's really important. Let's find out why this guy's really important. Cue the flashbacks. So I think that was a smart approach because they didn't just spend so much time building to the character putting on the outfit. It was like, okay, cool. This is why this guy matters. Stay tuned.
Yeah, if they had done a linear story
right.
arc, I think it would have been. I think all of them, like, if we see Thor for the first time without that action sequence in Earth trying to become Thor,
yep.
it wouldn't have worked. Cap is Cap before you see him become Cap would have been like, so what? He's a dude who gets a shield and he's got a dude named Bucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Like as I always say, like out of the Iron Man is the one that has to work and it works. But I think Captain America is one of those. That's probably my favorite standalone early movie.
Which one?
Phase One, Cap.
Oh, okay.
It's just like they got. I mean, I think they had probably the best cast around the hero.
Oh my gosh! It was another thing that I noticed, not early on, but it was just like, gosh, none of those movies had bad casts. Like every one of them has somebody who was like up for an Oscar or won some acting hardware. I mean, geez, who was it? Jeff Bridges in Iron Man. Then you got Gwyneth Paltrow. She won an award. Terrence Howard, nominated for Oscar. You've got William Hurt, Liv Tyler, Edward Norton, even our boy Ty Burrell. I mean, just quality. Tim Roth. Then you move on to Iron Man 2, and it's, same cast as basically the first one. Then they kind of, I don't know if you'd say upgrade or kind of balanced out with Don Cheadle, because he immediately fits right in because he was never in that War Machine armor, so it's not as big a stretch. Then you got Cap with freaking Tommy Lee Jones in there. I mean, it's like, good grief. You got Tommy Lee Jones, the best supporting actor, playing another supporting role, but it's not even as significant as the one that got him an Oscar. And he just absolutely is the glue of that film. And it's just like, boy, they didn't mess around with any member of that cast.
Like, I think that was their problem. Like, I think that's one of the things that really worked for Marvel. Anyone was a main character, they didn't put it up to chance that you might not be up for the test. They weren't going with some unknown guy who just may be okay. You might. I mean, it's like even like as I think like how Superman, the original movie did. It's like we got Marlon Brando and this Chris Reeve. Even that was a stretch. Marvel didn't take chances like that. They're like, nah. Everybody in these leagues, we've seen them do their thing, and they're good. I mean, the supporting characters around them are going to elevate the characters.
And I also really make a point, backing up what you're saying, that of those 4 standalone films, not including Iron Man 2, Chris Hemsworth is definitely the least known quantity. And another reason why Thor's success really propelled the MCU to a higher plane. Because he's perfectly cast and he doesn't look out of place in scenes with Natalie Portman, Anthony Hopkins. I mean, he's just like, yep, or Rene Russo. He's right there.
Yeah, they look like they were having to carry him half the lines because he just looks the part.
Yeah,
it might be like, it's like, I mean, and Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, it's like if he sucks,
yep,
that thing all goes to crap. So, okay, good point.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting watching Thor play out, just knowing, you see them one time for the first time, and then after you kind of watch them a few times and see where their characters evolve to, it's very interesting seeing where Thor and Captain America are as opposed to say Hulk and Iron Man, who are not to say don't evolve, but those characters stay largely the same for the saga. Where Cap and Thor have these very different evolutions and just alterations to their experience. Thor becomes more humble. He gets way more in touch with his emotional side to the point where he's super depressed. And Captain America is learning, okay, I can't be this perfect idealistic person. I have to make compromises. I have to make some changes. And I just have to be willing to accept those repercussions.
Like he's got to
Tony's,
accept. He's got to accept it. It's like this isn't the 1940s. So it's like things. It's like I said, things aren't perfect anymore. I got to accept a little gray. It's
yep,
like
yeah, where Tony Stark is basically like, yeah, I got this. I'm funny. It's all
ah,
about me. I'm loving my life, and I'm gravy, baby.
nah. I'm
I,
gonna
he
disagree a little
he
bit.
evolves to an extent, but
He
he's the
grows up.
guy. He grows up, but I don't think he of any of the characters of those characters has that far to get from point A to point C.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's go on with like Civil War is like his comp. I mean, from Civil War to Endgame is when he's like, hey, I, if you had told me to bend over for Uncle Sam in Iron Man 1, that would have been a hard stretch. And then by Endgame, he's like, I told you we should have do it. We should have done it by now. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I think that I mean his evolution isn't as pronounced. To be Thor said he's been around 5,000 years. He's drinking and partying every battle. This is the first time he's lost everybody he's actually cared about. He's depressed. I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you got Fat Thor after this. After 5,000 years, it's Fat Thor. So
Yeah. It's just really interesting, and I was excited when I finished watching First Avenger last night. Like, oh shoot, now we're gonna go to the culmination of all of this hard work on these first five movies, and I remember being so excited and hyped up about Avengers, and of course, knowing how they're gonna pull that off and deliver, and then tease maybe the greatest tease in a movie post credit scene where it's like, oh my gosh, are you really gonna go this far? And then knowing that they really are gonna go that far and then some as this deal continues to play out.
no, let me get it back. You're saying the trailer, the post scene in First Avengers.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That you're like, oh, y'all are doing Avengers. This isn't like a
Yeah.
game
It
Avengers. Like,
was
and we always talk about like, y'all really gonna do Avengers? Like, oh shoot, like y'all gonna do that? Like Hollywood's too scared because they don't think comic book movies work. They
yeah.
say they suck, and then they make X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Like you don't do that. Like
Right.
especially build it up to that. Like, oh shoot, all of these guys are gonna be important. Damn, all right.
Yeah. And just how far it's gonna go from there. Like, oh man, we're gonna have 15 more characters who are important by the time the first Avengers ends to Endgame. But
And then you get
it's
in
a fun
end
ride.
games. I'm sorry. Then you get Avengers. Like, wait, are y'all fighting Thanos?
Yeah, like that
Oh,
was that was like, oh,
so you're building up two Avengers to build up to Thanos.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, I see you. Yeah, it was like, whoa. I'm sure I will wash through phase two by the time we talk next week. So I think I'll revisit. I'll break down phase two again. I just thought like, wow, these guys weren't messing around. And then seeing early on like where they go from one movie to the next, then build it up and deliver, and then where they go from there. Just really impressive and a cool thing to see pay off. And even though I can't watch it again for the first time, it is very cool experiencing it all over again.
I was gonna say, but I think the best thing for Marvel is they never had a flop. I don't know what that would have done to them, their confidence, if they just had one movie just completely flop. Like I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp were like, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, whatever. I mean, they just anything that was integral to their story did not flop. Everything was just like, no, we got it.
And
And
then even the stuff that wasn't super integral to the main overarching plot still was perfectly entertaining for what it was. I see. Let's jump ahead real fast then, because I know I'm not going to watch this. I don't think there was some debate on Twitter last week. What was the worst MCU movie, Iron Man 3 or Thor: The Dark World? And I can tell you one of those movies is not in my collection. I may rewatch it simply for the value of Disney Plus, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of like, I don't think that's a huge question because one really just feels. I think the timing of Iron Man 3 is kind of weird in the sense of where it goes following the first Avengers, and it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't feel as serious, and it also feels like, well, where are the rest of these guys that can help you with this situation? And I hate the big twist to his main bad guy. So, whereas Thor is just kind of a, okay, this is fine. Stuff happens, and I think unlike Iron Man 3, Dark World gets a super huge boost from later films, specifically in-game, where stuff that happens in it matters more because it actually, they go back to it.
I
Where
was gonna say
Iron Man,
Thor. I mean, just like Loki dies in that movie. Like that is, I mean, like everything that happens in like his mom dies in that movie. There are certain things that happen in Dark World that have significance.
yeah, that matter.
It's. I mean, Iron Man 3 is a standalone epilogue at best for
Yeah,
Endgame.
that's
I
how
mean,
it
sorry,
feels.
for
Yeah,
Avengers.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Like you don't have to watch it to
hmm,
get anything out of it.
like Rhodey doesn't actually use the Iron Patriot suit after that. When he's fighting most of the time, Pepper's Pepper. He just fights a random bad guy,
Yeah,
and so it's like, I mean, we don't even deal with his. I mean, we deal with his PTSD in the first and by the halfway mark of the movie, and it's never brought up again.
right. So it's just I feel like Iron Man's journey doesn't really continue with part three, but it continues more in Age of Ultron and Civil War. Like, okay, don't need you for that. But yeah, so we'll talk more on phase two later. What are you watching? What have you been picking up since this quarantine happened?
Well, since I was since this thing started, I have actually just because I think Gunners was messing with me recently about Smallville season 9, and I'm just like, well, man, this season's awesome. So I decided to end up watching it again. I'm just like, yeah, I think Gunner hasn't seen this season in a while. I really just like to let him borrow the Blu-rays. It's like season 9's great. I'm watching season 10, and I'm like, yeah, season 10 is not as good. But that's because you're fighting not dark side, you're fighting multiple parts of bad guys, and they don't always work out as well. I mean, and the dude goes from wearing a black jacket and like the Death of Superman kind of outfit to a leather jacket with the Superman on it, like just some random dude could do, which is stupid to me. Um, but I'm enjoying that. Then I was watching Attack of the Clone and Phantom Menace is Phantom Menace is what it is. You get some good lightsaber fights, get introduced to some characters.
I feel like
I'm
Phantom Menace really gets a bad rep because people want something else from it. I think they go along with what happens in the rest of the movies, but Phantom Menace is the one where they're like, no, this is what's supposed to happen. And they're disappointed because it doesn't. But I look at Phantom Menace as the movie that's introducing you in a different slant to the main villain of the six movies of the Skywalker saga.
in the Star Wars movies.
6, yes. The 6
Yeah.
movies in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've got Rogue
Yeah,
One
Rogue One
and
and Han
Solo,
Solo.
so
Yeah,
yeah, that's why I
I
said
mean, the Emperor is always the Emperor. I mean, it's,
that's why I said the 6 films of
yeah,
the Skywalker saga.
yeah. So like I said, it's like, and that's why I always, if nothing else, I love about Phantom Menace. It's every time you see Palpatine or Sidious on there, it's like, I don't know, there's something shady going on. That dude is evil. It's like his character is really good. And Attack of the Clone, as I say, that is 100% my guilty pleasure movie. If that's on, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, just I find, and everyone talks about the dialogue. I'm like, I'm sorry, I watch all these movies. If you want dialogue, go watch a movie that you have to pay complete attention to, and you're gonna fall asleep halfway through the movie. It's like, and you're still not gonna want to watch it more than once. That's really not a good movie to me. Um, yeah, I think tonight might be Revenge of the Sith, so I'm about to
Nice.
tackle that. Well, I mean, it probably will be good after I watch. This is gonna be the season finale of Walking Dead.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll probably tackle that if I don't get Spider Man again. So yeah, those have been my little quarantine movies so far. And next, I'm going to tackle Lord of the Rings Extended Edition.
All right, when are you gonna do that? Because I've been trying to get Monica to watch it, and I just don't think she's ever gonna go for it.
Jeff Monica's never going to watch that movie. It's like the first time she sees an orc, she's going to be like, all right, I'm out of here.
All right, and I'm done. I feel like that's the case too, and I'm like, either that or the ring raise. I mean, it's just like.
No, it's going to be like, how were the orcs created? Okay, we're done here. Nope, not going to do it. Nope. Like,
I'll see you in 9 hours, sir.
Exactly. And it's like, you're going to have a look on your face like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, well.
Probably.
Press play.
I do think that I may be able to move forward now with 24 season 6. So we may do that.
Which one's 6? Do you remember?
Yeah. Season 6 is the one after the best season, and it's the one right before the next best season. So it's really tricky. But stuff happens in me.
Yeah. I don't think I've watched that one. If I had Hulu, I definitely would watch it. I would definitely pick that up again. But I don't, one of my things is 24 must be watched within 24 hours.
Absolutely. You can't just spread it out.
No, it's like you have a couple extra hours in there because it's only 44 minutes. That's your bathroom breaks. You figure out all you need to do in that time. But it's 24 hours. I mean, if you can't do it like Jack Bauer, I mean, what are you doing with your life?
And what the heck are you doing? Yeah, it's 44 minutes for a reason, people. Go use the bathroom, put something in the microwave, come back quickly. You don't have that kind of devotion, we don't need you.
Seriously. If Jack Bauer didn't have that kind of devotion, where would we be?
Right, exactly. Stuck inside with a global pandemic. Oh. You know what?
I think you made our point.
I think Trump cut the CTU budget.
Hey, I would have cut CTU's budget.
No, I would have cut CTU security. I wouldn't have cut CTU's budget.
Jeff, do they actually have security? Hey, would you like to waltz in and just take out our whole defense terrorist unit? Yeah, sure, go ahead, man.
We've got Harry listed down as security, sir.
Harry's on his off dated of all days. Huh, who knew?
Who would have seen that coming?
Is anybody going to have an internal review since this has happened 5 years in a row? Hey, it was 5 out of 7 and no, okay? All right, okay. Yeah, I think it was like season 5. You're just like, dang, I'm emotionally drained after this one. Okay, you want to go back to season 6? Yeah, maybe, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I think season 6 is it's not the best one, but it's 24 and it's okay. I feel like after the 5th one, it was gonna be really hard to be close to that. That's why I deliberately spaced out a very long time between season 5 and coming to this one.
That's a smart way to go. It's like
Yeah.
Jack, I think takes some time after season 5, and you should too.
Yeah, it's like you need that break, and then it's like, oh, okay, Then you get into the 24 world again. It's like, okay. And then once you get past season 6, it's like, oh shoot, season 7 is amazing. If you haven't seen season 7, I won't say why it's so amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna almost say something about like the latter season. I'm just like, man, yeah, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah,
I think if you got Hulu, I think that would be a
it's the
nice
way to
little
go.
rabbit hole to take yourself, especially if you're. I think 24. Cool thing is you can watch that while you're working from home, and you will know 100% when to pick your eyes up off your spreadsheet and stuff like, oh shoot, let me rewind it. Yeah, it'll give you that cue like, hey, you hear this person talking, this character you didn't think was important. They are. It's like they do a good job of not spoiling stuff early on too, which I always liked about 24. It's like their reveals were
Unless
like,
you watch Fox football. Stupid jerks. Still,
I'm gonna watch it all at once.
So mad. So mad. Yeah, I was binging long before binging was anything. I was marathon viewing. The suckers ruined season 1 for me. So I'll never forgive Troy and Joe for that. I'm gonna blame them, even though they had nothing to do with that part of it.
Yeah, but you have to hear them, but that's far worse.
Far, far worse. All right, bro. Well, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up here. You got any dummies of the week?
I don't even know if it's this week or last week, but my dummy of the week is whatever DJ, and I'm pretty sure this dude said it to get more notoriety to his name, but the DJ who claimed that Kanye West was better than Quincy Jones. Because I just don't understand anyone who has any appreciation for music, even lets that come out of their mouth on the drunkest, highest occasion of ever humanity.
It's almost like calling Pharrell a young Teddy Pendergrass.
No, Jeff, no. That's even more. I will take that statement with more seriousness than Kanye West being better than Quincy Jones. It's like I could have a debate. You might have been drunk and said you just want to say some dumb mess. That is just stupid, ignorant, and you should be banned from Twitter for having that dumbass opinion. Just like, and I dare y'all to come in the week. I bring you Thriller. Your argument, please.
I'll just put this one album down and walk away.
Tell me y'all still jamming anything Quincy Jones did. Hey, have you been to a black wedding, Christmas party, anything? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not just black people. I rest my case. So, jury says you're an idiot. Yes, they do. And they are correct. So that DJ is my dummy of the week.
Smart play. Very, very smart play. All right, well, I don't know if I can disagree with that because I think 100% you are correct. Because that is indeed foolishness. Yeah, I think you win. I'm not even going to bother trying to come up with someone else. He wins. 100%. You, sir, are the dummy of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. You lose, General Kenobi.
Yeah.
All right, well, bro, stay safe, stay inside, don't get in any trouble, and yeah, we should play some video games through the fun part of our PlayStation Network.
Don't forget Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's true. Don't forget to grab the new free games this month. I think
we got?
Last day to get the stuff from March.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Uncharted 4. So in case, maybe I should make that my dummy of the week. Uncharted 4 is the featured game of the month for April. So if for some reason you just have never wanted to play Uncharted 4 and you didn't care when it was up on sale for $10 because you wanted to wait until it was free, then now's your time.
Definitely. It's the last day you better put this podcast up then. So gotta get it to the masses.
Got to get it out to the masses. All right, Bro Shot. Thank you for joining me. Thank y'all out there for listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.